हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। भवानी शंकरो वन्दे श्रद्धा विश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धा स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेदसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। Hari Om, Hari Om. So we are seeing this 14th chapter, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. In the beginning, Bhagavan tells that his Prakriti, that Mahad Brahma is the yoni, in which he puts the Garbha, and through this the entire creation takes place. So Bhagavan initiates the creation after dissolution. Bhagavan is not talking about the first creation. There is no first creation. The world always exists. Either it is in Srishti, Sthiti or Laya. In the Laya Avastha also the world exists potentially. So after a long period of Laya, again the world is manifested. So Bhagavan initiates this manifestation by activating the Prakriti, and which is associated with the avidya of all the jivas. So through this, Hiranyagarbha is born, and thereafter the whole creation takes place. So what happens at the totality level? Same thing happens at the individual level also. That when we go to sleep, everything comes to a standstill in Sushupta Avastha. Then Bhagavan again initiates and puts us into the waking and dream. And all our activities are done by this Prakriti only, motivated by our desires. The Prakriti expresses different actions. Just like our computer or a mobile, we put the request, the command, and accordingly the computer or the mobile functions. For example, if you have this mobile and some application is there, you have to open that application and you have to put whatever your desires are, and accordingly the application functions. Similarly, based on our desires, the Prakriti responds. We cannot control the Prakriti directly because Prakriti belongs to Ishvara. But when we express our desire, then accordingly the Prakriti functions. So there is this beautiful play of Prakriti which is going on. And if we understand it properly, we will become free, because what is this bondage of samsara is bondage of this Prakriti only. We are bound by the gunas of Prakriti. So avidya has created this false bondage. So in order to become free, we have to understand the functioning of this Prakriti properly. And what is our role in it. So Prakriti is made up of these three gunas, Sattva gun, Rajo gun, Tamo gun. The three gunas are not different from Prakriti. Prakriti itself is three gunas. So there is no difference between guna and the guni. So this Trigunatmika Prakriti or Trigunatmika Maya, also it is called, it plays this whole game of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, and all the karmas which are happening. Okay? So the nature of these three gunas are revealed first. Bhagavan says this sattva gun is nirmala. It's very clean, clear, like a crystal, of the nature of light and free from all defects. And when this sattva gun manifests, sattva gun becomes predominant, then automatically the thoughts of sukha arises in our antakarana, and also knowledge happens through our senses, etc. We come to understand, know the world around. So knowledge happens and sukha happens as an expression of that sattva guna. But not knowing my own nature as kshetrajna, I identify with this sukha, and then I start thinking that I am sukhi. I also identify with the activity of knowing which is happening through the senses, through the mind, and then I start thinking that I am knowing, I am the knower. So I am sukhi, I am dukhi, so I become the bhokta. I am knowing, so I become the knower. But this notion that I am a enjoyer, or I am a knower, or I am a doer, is due to ignorance, due to avidya only. Because this knowing, doing and enjoying are all happening in the field of Prakriti only. It has got nothing to do with Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is totally untouched by the activities of this Prakriti. But due to avidya, we identify with the activities of Prakriti and consider ourselves as sukhi, as jnani, etc. So tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashakam anamayam sukha sangena vadnati jnana sangena chanagha. So he anagha, O Nishpapa Arjuna, this sattva gun is nirmal, prakashakam, very brilliant, and anamayam, free from all defects. Sukha sangena badnati, it binds us through attachment to sukha, and jnana sangena, and attachment to jnana, knowledge. Now, in the next verse, Bhagavan reveals the nature of Rajogun and how that Rajogun binds us. So, verse number 7. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi trishna sanga samudbhavam tannibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. Hey Kaunteya, Bhagavan addresses Arjuna as Kaunteya, son of Kunti. So, hey Kaunteya, you understand Rajo Ragatmakam. Rajogun is of the nature of Raga. Means it is of the nature of color. It colors everything. Shankaracharya writes ki Ragatmakam Ranjanat Ragaha Gaihi Gairikadivat Ragatmakam. Like the colors which we use for our clothes and all. So whatever color are there, they color the cloth. Similarly, this Rajogun is of the nature of color. It colors whatever we experience, whatever we see, we know, everything gets colored as though. See, this can be understood by taking the example of a glasses, eyeglasses. So we can use a plain eyeglasses without any number and without any color, totally plain. So when I look through them, I see the world as it is. I see the red as red, blue as blue. I see the world as it is. But when I use a colored glass, a goggles of different colors, black or blue or green or yellow, so when I look through them, everything is seen colored. So my vision gets colored by the glasses. And this is like Rajogun. And Tamogun is like the glasses are totally dark. Sometimes we use those to see the solar eclipse. Absolutely opaque. Only if a bright sun is there, you can see it. Otherwise, everything is dark. Similarly, Tamogun is like dark glasses. Rajogun is like colored glasses. And Sattvagun is like a clear, clean glasses. So depending on this, we gain that experience. So Sattvagun, being clear, doesn't create any distortions. So and it is closest to our own self. So when that Sattvagun is there in our predominant in our Antakarana, then we experience happiness. Though this happiness is expressed in the buddhi, and it is not the nature of our own self, but we experience that happiness, which is closest to our own happiness. And we also experience jnanam, which is also closest to the jnana swarupa self. But this jnana is experienced in the buddhi, and happiness is also is an expression of the buddhi. So the sukha, which is experienced in sattvagun and the jnanam, they are also kshetra dharma only. But it's very clear, very what you call closest to the self. So Sattvagun is therefore considered very positive, helpful for the seeker. In the second chapter also, Bhagwan had advised Arjuna that Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistragunyo Bhavarjuna. Nirdvandva Nitya Sattvastaha Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. There he had mentioned, Bhagwan had mentioned that this Vedas, they talk about these three gunas and the expression of these three gunas in the form of this karma, upasana, etc. But you transcend these gunas and recognize your own self. So for that, Bhagwan advised that Nitya Sattvastaha Bhava, that try to gain more and more abidance in Sattva Gun. Become free of the Dvandva, become free of Yoga Kshema, and finally gain that abidance in your own self, Atmavan. So the play of these gunas, they have their own interesting play, which we have to understand and utilize them in our sadhana and transcend them. So here now Bhagavan is talking about Rajogun. So Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi. So Raja is of the nature of Raga, color. And when that Rajogun arises, see, our body, our mind, our intellect, our senses, all of them are made up of this Prakriti. So intrinsically there are these three gunas are there in the body, in the mind, in the senses, in the antakarana. But these gunas, they keep on fluctuating. Fluctuating means sometimes sattva gun arises, sometimes rajogun, sometimes tamogun. Just like the seasons. The rainy season, the winter, now winter has set in Delhi. Summer, autumn, spring, different seasons keep on coming and going. So when that particular season comes, the whole atmosphere changes, the nature looks different, the birds, animals, they respond differently, everything functions differently. So it affects our livelihood, the seasons. Similarly, these three gunas are like the seasons. So when that sattva gun arises in our mind, then all the sattvic samskars which are there within us, they start getting manifested. They start coming up. They start getting manifested. We start feeling more and more calm, peaceful, happy. That faith also arises in us. Also awareness increases, understanding increases. So all this is the effect of sattva gun. Once that sattva gun goes away, all this effect also goes away. For example, when we are overpowered by, let us say, tamogun, then automatically that thought of laziness, sleep will come. Even in a very scholarly, very active person also, when overpowered by tamogun, will not be able to prevent that tamogun from reacting, acting. The thoughts of sleepiness, laziness, forgetfulness will just come. People, when they drive also for a long distance and all, they may say that I will not sleep, I will remain alert. But suddenly the sleep overpowers them. Tamogun overpowers them. And they just doze off. So just as we see the effect of tamogun, there is the effect of rajogun and sattvagun also. So Bhagavan says when rajogun arises, then what happens? Trishna sanga samudbhavam. It gives rise to trishna, thirst, means desires. Desire to obtain what we don't have. See, all of us, we have lot of these samskars are there within us, but they remain dormant. They remain inactive. They don't bother us. But when rajogun arises, then it just wakes these thoughts up. A desire comes in our heart that I want to possess this, I want to obtain that, I want to go there, I want to do this, I want to change that, I want to obtain that trishna, thirst to acquire things which I don't have. Trishna aprapta abhilasha, that which is not there, that abhilasha, to obtain it. And if we have things, then we have develop that attachment to them. We hold on to them. We want to enjoy them. We want to just gain all the pleasures from what we have. The food, clothing, shelter, place, people, money, fame, name. We want to just have that enjoyment in that. Khao, piyo, ऐश करो, घूमो, नाचो, गाओ, party. So that type of thing gets activated by this Rajogun. Our samskar, Rajasic samskars get activated. See, in a Mahatma also this Rajogun is there, Tamogun is there, Sattvagun is there. It is there in everyone. But since they have positive samskars in them, those positive samskars get activated through their Rajogun. They become very active in serving the world, doing some seva of the whole world, of that Ishvara. And when Tamogun comes, they give rest to the body, the mind, the senses. So they utilize their gunas in a positive way. But those who don't have proper samskar, those who don't have proper tamasic, rajasic, sattvic samskar in them, then those type of things get activated. See, like for example, our garden. So I have a garden, my neighbor has got another garden. And in particular season, all these plants and all, they just wither away, their leaves fall down, they look totally dry in autumn and all. Then the season changes and suddenly the plant become more lively, the new leaves start coming, look so pretty, lot of flowers start blossoming. But I find that my garden is not so lovely looking, but my neighbor's garden looks more pretty. In autumn, both the gardens were looking ugly, but now my neighbor's garden is more pretty than my garden. Though the season is same, his garden is looking more pretty than mine because he has got better trees, plants, which through this season they manifest. Similarly, we have this samskar in us which we carry from our past lives, and also in this life we acquire lot of samskars, the Shodasha samskar and all, and also through our karma and through our thinking we develop various types of desires and vasanas. So when those appropriate gunas they manifest, those type of samskar manifest in us. So generally when Rajogun manifests, then there is this the samskar of Trishna, thirst, want, desire. See, then desire is the main propelling force in our life. All our activities are propelled by desires, kama. And there are two main motivation in these desires. One is the desire to avoid sorrow. Avoid sorrow, pain, suffering, etc. And desire to gain pleasure, happiness. So dukkha nivritti and sukha prapti. I want to avoid sorrow and I want happiness. So based on this, we have different types of desires. And depending on our philosophy of life and our general understanding, we have different types of desires. Some people feel that indulging in sense pleasures will give them happiness. So those type of desires manifest when Rajogun arises. But those who have sattvic desires of satsang, of doing their karma, dharma, puja, japa, Ishvara, aradhana, then through Rajogun those type of desires start manifesting in them. So Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sanga Samudbhavam. So Rajogun, of the nature of color, it gives rise to Trishna, desires, and Sanga means attachment, Asanga, attachments, want to indulge in those objects which we have. And we identify with these desires as my desire, mera hai. See, I, the Kshetrajna, this desire, this thing doesn't belong to the Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is totally untouched, doesn't belong to the Kshetrajna. For example, this cup, it doesn't belong to the space which is there inside. You can move the cup anywhere, the space doesn't move with it. But we falsely assume that the space is within this cup and it is attached to this cup. Similarly, Kshetrajna is like space. The body doesn't belong to the Kshetrajna, the mind doesn't belong to Kshetrajna, but due to avidya, I identify with it and think this is my body. I am man, I am a woman, I am young, I am old. I identify with my mind, with my senses, with my intellect, my mind, my intellect, my desires. So this identification with the expression of these gunas bind that person. So Bhagavan says, tan nibadnati. This Rajogun nibadnati, it binds. Whom? This Dehi. It binds this as though binds the Kshetrajna through karma sangena. When desire arises, they propel us to perform karma. Desires propel the person to perform karma, to obtain the desires. So by making us attached to karma, the Rajogun binds us. Karma sangena dehinam. ये करना चाहिए, I have to do this, I have to acquire that, I have to go there, I have to indulge in this. In Sattvagun, there is no, it doesn't propel one into karma. One has knowledge, one gains that happiness. So one is very happy and in a state of understanding. But this Rajogun propels a person into karma because it creates the sense of incompleteness, that I have to do this to become happy, to be peaceful, to gain that pleasure. And Tamogun makes a person inactive, lazy, sleepy, dull, forgetful. That also Bhagavan will now tell us in the next verse, verse number 8. Tamastvajnanajam vidhi mohanam sarvadehinam pramadalasya nidrabhihi tannibatnati bharata. Hey Bharata, hey Arjuna. Bhagavan is addressing Arjuna as Bharata. Bha means that light of knowledge. Rata means one who revels. So one who revels in this knowledge is Bharata. So this is actually our traditional name of our country, because the country, the main thing is about this knowledge, self-knowledge. Brahma Vidya. The Bharatiya traditionally were reveling in Brahma Vidya only. So Bharata, hey Arjuna, tamastu ajnanajam vidhi. Understand this tamas now, which is born from ignorance. See, this ignorance which Bhagavan is talking about here is not the ignorance of the self. That ignorance of the self has created the entire bondage. But this tamogun covers the knowledge which one gains while in sattvagun. Means worldly knowledge, knowledge which we have acquired about the world, or even through satsang and all. So whatever knowledge we acquire, the knowledge which is there in the buddhi, it gets covered when tamogun comes. Even the most knowledgeable person becomes like a dull, foolish, idiotic person only. When a person is totally dull, sleepy, lazy, forgetful, overpowered by this tamogun, his knowledge gets covered. Even the greatest of scholars and wise person also behaves like a fool when he is overpowered by tamogun. The dullness comes. See, even some drugs or some intoxicant invoke this tamogun. When a person drinks, gets intoxicated through some alcohol and all, then what happens? That dullness is tamogun. What is dullness? The senses, the mind, the intellect, they lose their ability to know, to understand. Means sattva gun gets suppressed. Sattva gun gets covered as though. So this ajnana gives rise to tamogun, or tamogun encourages ajnana. Both ways it works. See, if you remember the third chapter, in the third chapter, Arjuna had asked that question, that atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha anichchanapi vašneya baladiva niyojitaha. That what is that propelled by which a person commits sin? Then Bhagavan had replied, ki kama esha krodha esha rajoguna samudbhavaha mahashano mahapapma viddenam iha vairinam. Bhagavan told Arjuna that kama esha krodha esha, kama, kamana, desires, and krodha, kama itself gets converted into krodha when obstructed. So this kama or this krodha, Bhagavan had mentioned there, rajoguna samudbhava, they are born from rajogun. And Shankaracharya in his commentary has written that it is not only that it is born from rajogun, but even when that kama and krodha is there, it encourages the rajogun to come up, manifest. The rajogun propels the kamna in us to arise, but due to some reason, if the kamnas are there, then it propels the rajogun to come up. For example, you are lying in your bed, lazy, Sunday morning, you don't want to get up. You want to just lie down, nice cool weather. सर्दियों में रज़ाई के अंदर you are lying down, comfortable, want to just relax. Then what happens? Then you get a call or a message that your boss has urgently called you. Some important meeting is there and you have to be there present. If you don't go, the boss will throw you out of your job. So fear is also there. And that desire to avoid sorrow and to gain some benefit. So you're lying down. So when you get this message, those thoughts come. And when those thoughts comes, suddenly you activate yourself. Though you're lying down, you bring that thought and you activate your body and you just get up from your bed and prepare yourself, get ready and just rush away. Others in the family also are worried, just now you're lying down there like a lazy fellow, not even wanting to get up, and now you have just got up and got ready so fast. So that desire activated Rajogun, and Rajogun activates all the function of the body, and that fellow does all this karma. So it's very interesting. We cannot control the gunas directly because they belong to Ishvara. Ishvara's Prakriti. Ishvara's Prakriti is in Ishvara's hand. But what is in our hand? We use the products of Prakriti, our mind, our intellect, our senses and all, and we have our own desires. So when we express our desires, that type of Prakriti gets activated. It's a beautiful combination actually. Therefore Bhagavan had said that the Prakriti plus Avidya together create this sense of ahankar which we have, which propels all the activities which are happening. Okay? So what is this tamogun? Bhagavan says, tamaha tu ajnanajam viddhi. Understand tamogun born from ajnana and also propelling ajnana. When tamogun is there, we become absolutely dull. We don't even understand. Some people go to satsang also, but they are so sleepy that they don't understand what is happening. कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है. Everything goes above their head. So tamogun has become so overpowering. As I said, a person who is drunk, a person who is sleepy, a person who is lazy. See, one is physically we are lazy, but we are also lazy in our mind. We don't want to think. We just want to accept things without thinking. Dullness, passive. Some students are also there, passive. Whatever the teacher, they just listen and don't think, don't inquire, don't ask. They just, so that dullness of the mind, tamogun. So Bhagavan says this tamogun arises from ajnana. When our sattvagun is covered, then tamogun arises. So tamat tu ajnanajam viddhi. And when tamogun comes, all the tamasic samskars which are there within, they also manifest. When a person is drunk, he will do all sorts of tamasic things. which normally he will not do. Totally drunk, you fall down on the road, roll into the gutter, hug the tree, kiss the dogs, shout, act totally foolish, stop the traffic. If you tell this fellow when he is sober to do all this, he will not do. But तमो गुण में सब चलता है. It's very strange. Same person behaves differently in Rajogun, Sattvagun and Tamogun. So it's the play of the gunas. A wise person behaves foolishly in Tamogun, and a foolish person appears so wise in Sattvagun. बिल्कुल पागल आदमी है, very bad also. But due to the whole atmosphere, the sattvic atmosphere is there in his home, or he has happened to be in satsang, so बैठा हुआ है वहाँ पर, अब क्या करे? So appears so nice, so sattvic, as though Bhagwan himself has manifested temporarily. Then as soon as the satsang is over, again he encourages, he himself invokes the Rajogun in him. और द तमोगुण, इससे बहुत हो गया सत्संग में जाके अभी कुछ पी लेता हूँ. So this interesting play of these gunas we should understand. The Atma, the Kshetrajna is different. He is Trigunatīta, beyond all these three gunas. So tamas tu ajnanajam vidhi. So tamogun is ajnanajam, born from ajnana. And what does tamogun do? Mohanam sarvadehinam. It deludes all beings. When tamogun comes, it deludes everyone. It deludes everyone. The wisest person also becomes absolutely deluded with tamogun. Absolutely dull, drunk, doesn't understand what is what. See, tamogun suppresses not only knowledge, but it also suppresses rajogun. See, these three gunas are so interesting. Though they are there present, all three are present, but they suppress each other. Tamogun, when it becomes powerful, it suppresses not only the sattvagun but also rajogun. So a person who is dull, he doesn't want to do anything and doesn't understand anything also. Doesn't respond, doesn't appreciate anything. कुछ समझ में नहीं आता, कुछ respond नहीं करता है. Absolutely becomes like a buffalo only. Buffaloes also sometimes are very wise and intelligent, but this fellow becomes like a stone. So mohanam sarvadehinam. This is the effect of tamogun. Again, to give the example of nature, so we find that even during the daytime it's so bright and brilliant. Everything is so clear. If you walk on the road or drive and all, everything is seen, everything is so clear. But as the sun starts setting down, start becoming what you call darker, and when the sun sets completely, the whole place becomes absolutely dark. If there is no artificial light and all, if the moon is also not shining, then the entire place becomes absolutely dark. All the world remains as it is, the trees, the birds, the animals, the roads, the buildings, everything, mountains, everything is there. But everything gets covered by darkness. So when it gets covered by darkness, we don't understand, अरे कौन सा रास्ता लेना है, कहाँ जाना है, क्या करना है. So this darkness encourages, invokes the Ajnana. Ignorance means it blocks the knowledge. Tamogun itself, tamogun is not ignorance. Tamogun is like darkness. It blocks the knowledge. See, the Sattvagun, Rajogun, Tamogun, Bhagwan Shakti, it is not avidya. Avidya is different. And this Maya or Prakriti is different. So this Tamogun is darkness, not avidya. But it invokes the avidya in us. For example, if let us say some object is there, let us say this cup is there, you can see it, you know it. But when it becomes dark, you don't see it. You don't see it at all. It is covered by darkness. Similarly, this tamogun covers the knowledge as though with darkness. So, and it gives rise to this delusion, confusion, forgetfulness, sleepiness. Okay? And pramada alasya nidrabhihi, and also pramada. Pramada means forgetfulness. Inadvertence, forgetfulness. Then alasya, laziness. And nidra, sleepiness. This tamogun invokes forgetfulness, laziness, sleepiness. Person starts becoming more and more sleepy. So even the most wisest or most active person cannot fight against this tamogun. When the tamogun overpowers, we may try to fight, we may try to remain awake. But when it becomes very strong, then we get totally overpowered. So pramada alasya nidra bihi tan nivatnati bharata. So through pramada alasya nidra, that I am sleepy, I am lazy, I have forgotten, I identify with the expression of these gunas, and this identification binds me to the gunas. Guna sangena badnati. One gets bound by these gunas. A wise person, he also has got sattva gun, rajogun, tamogun. Means the expression of these three gunas are there in a wise person also. An enlightened person also is active. He also understands. He also goes to sleep. But he knows that these are all play of gunas. Guna guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. He knows that this whole thing is a play of gunas only. Has got nothing to do with me. I, the Atma, is beyond these gunas. So he doesn't get bound. But an ignorant person, ignorant of his own supreme reality, gets bound by these gunas. Okay? So after telling us about these three gunas, Bhagavan now summarizes the whole thing in this 9th verse, what he has said in these 3 verses about the 3 gunas. Bhagavan summarizes in the 9th verse. Let us chant. Sattvam sukhe sanjayati rajak karmani bharata jnanam avrutya tu tamaha pramade sanjayatyuta. Bhagavan says, Sattvam sukhe sanjayati. This sattva gun propels a person towards sukha. See, as I said, directly we cannot control these gunas, but through our activities and through our desires, we can control these gunas. For example, sattva gun. Sattva gun, we can't just say, oh Sattva gun, please come. No. But we can do some japa. We can put forth effort to go to satsang. We can put forth effort to read something, good book, do some swadhyaya. That effort we can put. Even when we are tamasic or rajasic, we can put forth special effort to do a sattvic karma. And when we do that, the sattva gun start getting invoked, start getting expressed. Even the most tamasic person, if he puts forth little effort and do satsang or do some sadhana as said in the scriptures, japa, puja, chintan, if he keeps doing that, he will invoke the sattva gun. Then all these things will become effortless. Then he will enjoy the good work, he will enjoy the dharmic work. He will gain that sukha and gain understanding also. So sattvam sukhe sanjayati. When sattva gun is there, one experiences great sense of joy. No doubt it is a thought in the mind as thought of sukha, which is also kshetra dharma, but it is close to our own self. Our self is also of the nature of ananda. So through sattva gun, we can experience the peace and happiness and quietude of our own self more vividly. So sattvam sukhe sanjayati. Rajak karmani bharata. And that rajogun, when it arises, then it propels a person into activity. The person cannot just sit quietly. The person gets propelled into various types of activity because rajogun gives rise to desires. All our activities are prompted by desires. Whether they are good desire, bad desires, sattvic desires, whatever it is, all activities are prompted by desires. So rajogun invokes those desires and then propels this person into various types of activities. So rajak karmani bharata. And tamogun, when it arises, what does it do? Jnanam avrutyatu tamaha. It covers the knowledge. Not a supreme knowledge. Supreme knowledge already we don't have. So that ajnana is common for all. But other knowledge which we have gained through satsang or through our education or through whatever other chintan and all, those knowledge also get covered through tamogun. The wisest person becomes equivalent to a foolish person when the tamogun overpowers, becomes sleepy, dull, forgetful. Because all knowledge is there stored in us, but if we forget, what is the use then? They don't come. You are listening to my pravachans and all, you should remember whatever you have heard and it should manifest whenever it is required. But if tamogun is there, we can't recall also. Oh, we have seen this shloka. What shloka? I don't remember. So jnanam avrutyatu tamaha. Jnanam covers, the tamogun covers the knowledge. Jnanam avrutya to tamaha, covering the knowledge. Pramade sanjayatyuta. It propels the person into pramad, in forgetfulness, inadvertence, laziness, sleepiness, dullness. वो तमोगुण का इफेक्ट है. So the effect of these three gunas are always there in us. Either we are propelled by tamogun, rajogun or sattvagun, or combination, permutation of this. And propelled by this only all the activities are happening, or dullness, or happiness, everything is propelled by these three gunas. Okay? More about this we will see in our class tomorrow. Till then, you take care, be happy, safe, peaceful, healthy, and invoke Sattva Gun through your prayer, through your satsang, through your chintan, through japa. Japa is the best. भगवान का नाम स्मरण करो, सत्व गुण जो है प्रकट हो जाएगा. So we shall meet again tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. Boliye Siyavar Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.